So, not a lot of time on camera today. I did off camera cut a bunch of pieces, and they're not all the same size, obviously. The idea is probably I will be cutting a piece of excess to line them all up eventually. But that probably won't be an issue for a while. I added 3 pieces over here. 1, 2, 3, and just these 2 pieces because I had added a piece the other day, so they should be about the same height, or approximate. I don't really mind so much. Yeah, and I didn't get super high, but that did further shore up. Is that the word? These front pieces here. I did do the side pieces, and there is some cracking. I don't really mind so much because I'm thinking at this point that I might, one, take off the vinyl to put it back up in, or just use the what do you call this? The acrylate, I forget what it is. The polyurethane, whatever, on the outside. I don't know that that's the best idea. I don't know if I should leave the outside exposed so that humidity can breathe, or I should leave the whole thing exposed. I'm still trying to figure that out, work that in my head. If I want to redo the vinyl, I think I want to redo the vinyl regardless because I want to lift it up from that bottom base and maybe put the bottom in like a rubber. I think would be probably the idea, but this is ideas from with money I don't have and time I don't really have because that's adding on time. So at the very least, I want to get it base done, and I can go finishing up touches in terms of like coatings and whatnot later on. But I really like how it looks. We're really coming along. Yeah, it's exciting. I really can't put up the glass without help. So I kind of have to wait when my mother's available for that, because she's probably the only person who really can help me at this point with that. People are injured and whatnot, and in otherwise precarious physical states. So, or this is my mother. And then we're watching my nieces, or my nephews and her godsons at the same time. So I take breaks. And I guess luckily or not luckily, my nephew does not like the sound of a drill, so he's not necessarily apt to be out here. Yeah. I cut a bunch of pieces. I think next I really have to go and start dismantling that, because the pieces all around tend to be a bit warped, degrading. So I really had to cut around pieces. This is why like this piece in the middle is kind of short. But it's still kind of the same. I want to cut this, but also I feel like it's going to shake the whole thing if I use the saw. So, one way or another, so my mother just said she has a chisel somewhere. Because I do need to, I want to chisel out a piece of this. And then I have to prepare a vertical piece to hold the glass on either side. 2 vertical pieces, actually. We do have some inside, so some that have not been exposed to the elements. So, I'll probably just really, not slowly or quietly, I'll just casually take those, I imagine. You can see... This is, everything's not going to be square like a new box. It's not a new box. It's been exposed in the ground for a while, but it's going to be real rustic, it's going to be sturdy though. It's going to be sturdy. And if I need to, I will just dig a hole in the ground and add some more, right? I will just do that. My sister just have a bunch of broken brick. She was saying I should maybe, because I was explaining to her that I have general concerns about possible pests getting in. And she's like, I should put, steel wool around the bottom, so probably if it works with I don't know if I'll have to staple it or if it will work with the wood glue. Maybe I'll have to staple it. I don't know about stapling it. But maybe to tuck wood glue below the bottom, and then the brick as a base. I'll probably end up putting some of so many probablys. So many probablys. The sand needs to get leveled out again. This up here is really sturdy. I want to put some weed killer all in this. I do. I don't want weeds messing up things. On the other hand, the weeds are maybe like firming up the ground, right? So maybe I don't know. Still things to think about. But it's generally a lot sturdier. This in the middle probably needs some shoring up somehow. But I think that's just going to come as I build up on the sides, especially. Yeah. I think probably, well, I have these pieces. But I definitely need to put a vertical piece at least up over here. So let me see something. Obviously this side started leaning over time. It's a little bowed. I need to go along the edge over here. If I go along the edge, it's kind of hard to push it straight up. So maybe I have to start clamping it somehow to straighten it out slowly. I don't know. We'll figure it out though. That's for sure. I need something like an L bracket to push in the middle here to push this out. Maybe something over here. I don't know. Oh, okay. This whole front face needs to go back like this much at least. This might be the next part I figure out because I can't have too much color. If I figure this out first and then attach it, however, right? And then I can start pushing things back in place and whatnot. And maybe I need to cut these pieces off too. Maybe that's next. Oh, that one. I might have to cut these off next. That might be the just cut it off. Not, at least on this side for sure. Ugh. I need an 8-foot piece to connect whatever the front panel, however that'll look. Yeah, I need to cut this because this is in the way. Sure. Cut this. Or, I don't want to cut this yet. Not yet. Okay, let's cut this. Okay. Next time. I'll probably do that maybe tomorrow. And then if the glass is like, if the panel is like right here-ish, lots of light. Lots of light. And then I'll eventually put curtains. I don't want. Yeah. 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 These are my dirty work clothes for the day. So, yeah. I do also want to say that I really want to get this done by like, let's say mid-December, if not earlier than that. Um, but I do see a wreath out here, and that, ooh, is that a bird in my shoe? Feels like. No, maybe not. Um, anyway, there's a wreath over here. I'm sure there's other wreaths anywhere, but that means decor. Decorating. Yeah. This whole side over here was wavy for whatever reason, like shortly after it was quote finished. Super fine with me. If there's gaps, foam and rope and whatnot, it'll be filled. It's not gonna be a perfect square, but I just feel such a connection, probably because I built it, right? As opposed to like, oh, this is how it looks, la da 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 da. Exciting times. Just really exciting times, truly. Truly, truly, truly. Yeah. Yeah. And then brackets also to reinforce. Is there like a wood product that's kind of like the way that thin enough where you know where people sometimes will like paint with like a wax and it's like a mop or whatever? Is there something like that that just reinforces wood that's not necessarily that's not poly? I don't know if it's poly, but I don't know how much I would need. I only have like the one little gallon thing, so I feel like I would need a lot more. I don't know. Also, finally, I do have a bunch of white paint, so I definitely for sure want to have this white on the inside. Now that I think about it, actually. Oh my gosh, all these gaps, what am I gonna do? I don't think foam is enough because there's this over here that has foam. And it's like, it's still there, but it looks terrible. I have to look into this. Research, yes.